So good morning. So my name is Wen Chu. I am the Director of International Collaboration from the University of Science and Technology of China. It was a great pleasure to be here and meeting you in this very mathematical place, I would say. And first of all, may I allow me to introduce our delegations for today's event. And I'm going to introduce the USTC part. Professor Xiaonan Lar is going to introduce the French part. And first is Professor Qin about our president from the University of Science and Technology of China. And Professor Chen Weidong, Director of Human Resource from USTC. Professor Ma Xinan, the Vice Dean of the School of Mathematical Science from USTC. Professor Han Guangxin, the Professor from the School of Mathematical Science. Professor Yang Yingqi from School of Mathematical Science. Professor Sun Zhe from School of Mathematical Science. And our project coordinators, Ms. Xu Yue and Ms. Yang Qi. It is also a great pleasure for us to have the minister concerned from the embassy in the Chinese embassy in France, Mr. Zhou Jiahui, and Mr. Zhang Weiyu.
Okay, now I introduce the French part. So the first is from the two foundations. So Madame Béatrice de Dillier, she is a professor of the University of Public of Finland, but she also is the director of the Fondation. Also, Etienne Bois, also the from Foundation of Mathematics, Pascal Massa, she is the director of Foundation. So Pierre Pansu, so now I introduce the member of the committee. So you know we have French side, we have an education committee, and we control the quality and the everything on the class in the Sino-French class inside of China. So the director is Laurent Laforde. So as a member of Pierre Colmes. So now the chapter 5. So here's so now so what I just by the order of the committee is so Xiang Fa legal. So now also no, I think it's Stéphane Nodomachy is a professor. So, myself, so then Marco Rousseau is so the last one is Emmanuel Taylor. He is the so I think the French side is
Yeah, we also have delegation from the Association of Industry from France Sino, Mr. Sun Xuguang, the president.
So he's
Not here yet. Okay. Maybe the vice president Do is not yet. No, that's not yet. Sorry.
Also, Mr. Liu, she in fact, when we started the program, she worked at the French consulate in Shanghai. She helped a lot.
Thank you all for your comment. And first of all, let us welcome President Ma Xinan to give a brief introduction of this the Sino-French tailored mathematical class. Please.
So good morning, everybody. So it's my pleasure to introduce our China France mathematical talent class. So this class began in 2019 in USTC in collaboration with Jackie Adama Mathematical Foundation and Mathematical Science Foundation in Bahrain. So this is for almost 4 years ago. Professor Lobo and Professor Rousseau. So here is this is our President Paul. President Paul. So Lobo Lafonda and Rousseau will share my mom. And this is Junior student of Follow. Yeah, this is you know, not here. This is Marshall. So we almost 4 years ago we founded the sister class in Hefei. So at that time, to a large extent, the concert general in France in Shanghai helped us to found this class. This is important because every year the France embassy of Beijing in China support our class to study the French, So almost everybody. So now we see from some our students, almost the students in our class, they can speak frequency French. So our course is defined by the committee, education committee of French side. So this is the first part. Le fond de Polonaise, Charles Fabo, Isabella Gallagher, Shona Mark, Stephanie Marshall, Marco Rosso, and Charles. So just 3 months ago, Laurent Lafond and Marco Rousseau, Shona Mark visited our university. So this is our the general secretary of Chinese Party Communist. So this is the general, and this is the director Chu Kui. So now he is here. So this is means our university is supported, really supported our class. So our class is the first, because our university, the student is free to choose the different subject. So, for example, for the first 2 years ago, at the first we have 29 students, but the second year we only have 20 students because 9 students change different subjects. For example, physics and computer. So, yeah, now we at last we have 4 grades, so 86 students. Each year, the education committee of French side recommend almost each year 20 mathematicians from France to teach in our class. So, for example, Charles Favre and Laurent Lafont and Mander so also and Alevina, so give the course in our class. So this is a photo by Kate with some student. So this is Chimantu now here. He is admitted to economic supplement in last year, and here is I found the 7 students in our class. So sit in front and. So this is the French side professor. Yeah. So this is the analysis and algebra, function analysis, complex analysis, and differential geometry, and this is our course designed by the education committee of French. So we have 30 courses each year from. Okay, so we just some photo. This is I copied mathematics Baker and Marco Hosso and Diago and Ogo Fabius Diago. And this is our French teacher. We have 2 French teachers, and they are also from the France. Yeah. One is young and this is Napolina. So this is our French course. We have each year we have too much French course. So this is our first year student. So just list. So our first class, 20 students, 19 students now study the M2 in France, 17 study in Bahrain to M2, and 2 is 2 students in economic supplement, and 3 students admitted to economic polytechnic. So this is our list. Support University, economic, GSA, yeah, so this is our list. Yeah. Okay, so this is the tobacco photo, our General Secretary of Communist Party of China in our university, and this is the student and the and the Marco social and the chicken. So I stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Wang, for the great introduction. And next, let's welcome President Qin Hebao to deliver a speech.
Distinguished colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a pleasure for me to have the opportunity in this very well-known institute to celebrate our cooperation between France and our university science and technology. So it's really my pleasure that we have such a very important cooperation. We call the Chinese-French Mathematical Talent Class, the CTMTC. So now I'd like to, on behalf of the university, Science and Technology of China. Also to thank all of you for your very important also contribution to this project. Especially I'd like to thank Professor Rahul, also Professor Mark Russo. That I have also met you in the campus many times, so we have also the journey photo here. So our university has always maintained a good partnership with the French University and the Research Institute. The agreement to establish the so-called CFMTC was designed to promote talent, cultivation, and international collaboration in the field of mathematics at the beginning of 2019 by USTC. In cooperation with the Foundation of Mathematics, the Yaki Adam, and also the Foundation Science Mathematics, under the framework, at least 9 candidates in their 4th year of the undergraduate students at USTC will be granted scholarship to pursue I'm sorry, it's just a moment. It's a no problem. So the doctor studies in the France, in a different French university. That's no problem. It's okay. I can just detail for this. So to enlighten students, I think perhaps I don't want to use such a just speak some words. Okay. So I remember the first time is 2019. It is the consular, the French consular in Shanghai. Also, they help us to establish such a cooperation between the university and also the French side. So in the last 4 years, as I know, we have now 20 students have graduated from this class. Now, as I know, the 19 students now is granted the scholarship in the different universities in France for the future studies. I think it's a wonderful thing for us. So I will thank a lot of the people for such a project in France. As I mentioned before, the Professor Rahul, also Professor Mark Russo, also the different universities. I know that a lot of universities has also been involved in such a project. This is also great. As I know that we have also 3 students. 2 are from the class 2019. Also 1 is from the class 2020. Now it is also will be in the how to say this university into the normal university, the Paris, the Rome. I think it's a very good university. It's quite difficult for normally for students to enter such a university. So I think it's really it's a symbol of our such a successful graduation for the student. So I like also to thank a lot of people, and especially Professor Xiaonan Ma. He is really the good coordinator. It's okay. It's no problem. Thank you so much. It's Professor Xiaonan Ma. He is a coordinator in the French side to help such project a lot of. Then also Professor Sino Ma is now in the USTC. Yes, it's a very important organizer, also the coordinator from the USTC side. You know, perhaps also that the plaza. This is one is in French side, another is in China side. I think this is also very, very important. Without such the great contribution, I think it's impossible for us to have such an opportunity to renew such a great agreement for the next 5 years. So finally, I want to thank you all for your great contribution. Also, I hope in the future this cooperation will be have very important role for the scientific cooperation between not only our university in France, also perhaps in France and China. So I also discussed with our leader in the embassy. Mr. Zhu, he is now in charge of the education, the field between the China and France. Yeah, he actually also perhaps to do our best to strengthen such a cooperation between France, also the university, and later also between the France and China, and to enhance our cooperation in the future. Thank you. I hope it's successful for this celebration. Also, good agreement with Islam. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, yeah, thank you very much all for coming. So we're very glad to sign this renewal of this agreement. So I want just to present the Fondation Sciences Mathématiques de Paris for those of you who don't know it so well. So it was created in 2006, and it has some founding members, which is CNRS, INRIA, ENS, PSL, Sorbonne University, and University Paris Cité. Then we also have partners, which are Sorbonne Paris Nord, Nanterre, and University Paris 1. So a lot of the universities in the Paris perimeter. It covers around 100 and 800 researchers, among which 900 permanents, and the field it covers is mathematics and fundamental computer science. So there are two foundations of this sort covering mathematics in university in the region, in the Paris region. So there is FMJH, represented by Hassan Massa, so he's going to say a few words, and FSMP. And together, I think we can say that we cover the whole Paris region perimeter. And we have some common goals, which is to support and promote research in mathematics, to federate the Paris mathematics community, also to increase visibility and attractiveness of Paris and French mathematics, and to promote mathematics also to other sciences, industry, and general public. And so we also work together for some programs. So the Profound postdoc, the Dean Matinov, we support Ukrainian students, and of course also this program today. So how is the FSMP managed? So there's an administration council whose president is Jean-Pierre Perpignan. So he apologized that he couldn't be here today, but he would have very much right to. And then there's a scientific council, there's a steering committee, there's the Conseil des Composantes. I didn't know how to translate. So this is one time a year. We meet with all the lab directors, the teaching directors, and also the directors of the doctoral school. So this is a way to give information to the whole community. And then also we have a team which does all the work, and we have weekly meetings where we talk about all the subjects that we have to handle. So here are some pictures of the FSMP team. So you will see some of them today. So of course there's Etienne Boin, Célia Soubourg, Mathieu Simon, Gaël Octavias, who is filming today, so we thank her. And there is Kevin, who did a lot of work for today, organizing everything. Susanna Vojnovic, and there's also a new recruit from yesterday, Sabrina, but I didn't put her on the pictures yet, but she's here in the booth. So that's a permanent team. And then there's also a scientific team who helps handle all the projects. So there's Alain Bourguignon, the president of the administration council, and there's me, the director, new in September. Then there's Guillaume Chapuis, so he's in charge of the doctoral European projects. Jean-François Dac, he's in charge of the postdoc program. Then Arnaud Durand, he's the treasurer. Thomas Duplec, so he's really in charge of the PGSM, so the master program. And so he's in charge also of this class, and he also really apologized that he couldn't be here today. And then there's Claire Boyer, who is her co-manager, and Stéphane Labbé, he's in charge of the math and industry project. Okay, and so our main program, so there's the Paris Graduate School of Mathematics, PGSM. There are some doctoral programs, co-fund, so for those of you who don't know, these are co-fund means that these projects are co-funded by the European Union, so they're very large and nice program. We have postdoctoral programs, so we have some hosted by us in some sense, and also European co-fund projects. And then we have chairs of excellence. So I'll be a bit more specific about the programs. So the Paris Graduate School of Mathematics is about 50 scholarships per year for Master 2 students. There are two kinds of those projects, so PGSM Réseau for students who are in France, and PGSM International for international students. And so what we try to do is do the call and everything, and we try to provide a personalized welcome and support. And so this is where this agreement stands. The China-France Mathematics Camps Agreement is in this PGSM program. Then we have doctoral programs, so as I said, so we had two co-fund, very large, so 4 pools of 20 PhD scholarships. And then we have a new program starting this year, which is very ambitious, which is the co-fund Math PhD in France. So it will be 2 pools of 24 PhD scholarships. And there will be a specificity is that it has to be a co-advising between someone in Paris, in the large sense, Paris region, and outside of Paris, in France, but outside of Paris. So it's really a project aiming to spread mathematics, a collaboration between Paris and the whole of France. And so it's starting this year. So maybe some of the coming students will be interested to apply in this program. And then, so as I said, we have a postdoctoral program, so the FSMP is about 6 positions a year, and the co-fund, which is joined with Fondation Jacques Adama and also the Labex Bézou. And so we have approximately 60 positions a year for all of us. The chairs of excellence, we have 1 or up to between 1 and 2 per year. They're meant to be stays of 6 to 12 months for great researchers. They have to give 20 hours of doctoral school level course. So that's very nice, so that the whole community can benefit from their presence. And also they should provide some scientific animation. And so this year we're glad to welcome Eitan Talmor. So he will be hosted by the Laboratoire Michel Lyons. And he's giving a course, Emerging Behavior and Collective Dynamics, in February and March of 2024. So also if some of your students are interested, it will be hosted by Institut Henri Condamé here. And so information are available on our website. And then we have other actions, which are invited professors, we have doctoral students stay, we also finance Master 2 internships outside of Paris. We have a support of Ukrainian students with FMJH, supported by XTX Markets. We have programs Math en Mouvement and Horizon Math, which are more related to industry and general public. We also participate in the Salon des Jeux Mathématiques, which is a general public event in the Place Saint-Sulpice, very nice. And then we also have a paper, like a small journal, Math Info, which again takes care of giving news about the math community. Okay, and so I am done, and so thank you very much again for all being.
I have done something very different from what Beatrice has done, but
Mr. Sino-French has told you everything you should know about FSMP, but also FMJH, and the way they are operating in this big Paris region right now. So maybe a few words to complete what Beatrice said about FMJH. FMJH is separating the mathematicians on this very big cluster right now, which has been decided by the French government some years ago on the Paris-Saclay area. So I do not want to enter into details, but there are two now big blocks in some sense in this Paris-Saclay region. There is Université Paris-Saclay on one side and the Institut Polytechnique de Paris on the other side, but still the FSMP is working with these two blocks, and they are still federating the efforts of mathematicians on this area. Now I would like to make some testimony. I shall switch to French, because it's easier for me to present this testimony in French. Sorry for that, but c'est the way I feel it. À présent, je repasse en français et je vais profiter vachement du fait que je suis un vieux monsieur pour témoigner de la façon dont moi je vois cette coopération entre la France et la Chine en mathématiques et la façon dont moi je l'ai vécu, parce que je le répète, je suis un vieux monsieur, que j'ai des choses à raconter aux jeunes générations que je vois installées là-bas dans un carré bien précis de ça. Donc, cette relation entre la communauté mathématique française et la communauté mathématique chinoise est de longue date. Et moi, je me souviens, il y a une trentaine d'années, des pionniers comme Jacques Perrière, comme Jean-Marc Coutel, qui a disparu maintenant, et qui sont allés faire des cours en Chine. Et je me souviens de leur retour et de nos questions à nous qui ont resté sur place. Alors, c'était comment? Parce qu'à l'époque, il y avait peu de gens qui avaient visité la Chine. Et ils revenaient avec des étoiles dans les yeux en disant mais c'est un pays en pleine mutation, c'est absolument passionnant. Et visiblement, les mathématiques qu'ils ont racontées à cette époque-là dans les universités chinoises, à Pékin, à Wuhan, ont créé une grande émulation et une première envie chez les jeunes mathématiciens et mathématiciennes chinois de venir en France suivre des études et suivre des études en master et puis aussi peut-être réaliser un doctorat. Et donc ces relations scientifiques entre les institutions sont bâties à partir de l'histoire entre les gens, et c'est ça qui est très intéressant. Et il faut se souvenir qu'une personne qui joue un rôle extrêmement important aujourd'hui dans cette cérémonie, Sayonara, a fait sa thèse avec Jean-Michel Bismuth à Orsay, et il est l'enfant de cette première génération de coopération. Donc là, ici, on est dans une deuxième génération de cette coopération, et moi, je voudrais dire à quel point je suis heureux, en tant que directeur de la Fondation mathématique Jacques Adamar, d'être là pour signer cet accord, parce qu'il rentre parfaitement en concordance avec les valeurs que la Fondation défend. Ces valeurs sont l'excellence, l'ouverture, l'humanisme et la cohésion. L'excellence est visiblement présente dans la qualité des élèves qui sont dans la classe sino-française et dans Sinalma, et le garant avec le travail réalisé par le comité scientifique. L'ouverture, ça fait partie des missions de la Fondation d'être ouvert vers l'international et d'accueillir des étudiants internationaux, et ce depuis les origines de la Fondation, au travers de son programme Sophie Jardin, qui est aussi noté, et je essaie de l'accepter. L'humanisme, qui trouve sa place ici, parce qu'il y a cette histoire fraternelle, qui fait que nous sommes là aujourd'hui, l'histoire entre les deux frères qui joue un rôle très important dans cette classe aussi française. Et puis, l'histoire aussi des relations amicales qu'ils entretiennent avec leur communauté mathématique réciproque en Chine et en France. Et enfin, la cohésion, parce que je suis très heureux de voir que, une fois de plus, avec la FSMP, nous travaillons main dans la main pour signer cet accord. Et c'est un accord qui est passé avec, là aussi, une volonté de cohérence et de cohésion avec la communauté de mathématiques chinoise. Donc, en bref, plein de raisons de se réjouir au nom de l'amitié entre les peuples et la libre circulation des idées.
It's time for the matter of education from the well, the short word. I suggest that you stay based on the let's start with the director of this education committee,
Thank you very much. So I am extremely happy to be here. I was already part of the beginning of this program 4 years ago. And I am extremely happy with the way the program has already been very fruitful. And by now there is a renewal, and I am sure it will become even more fruitful. So here there are many faces I know, most faces I know, in fact. People I had met, I had known in France for many, many years, and people I had met more recently in the last years in China. And in fact, one of the persons I have known for a very, very long time is Professor Ma Shaonan. When he was a student, just as me, it was even before we began our PhD. And so Ma Shaonan had arrived in France. And in fact, we followed the lecture course together. So this is how we met. And I even remember that it was in this very place, at Institut Henri Poincaré. So it was maybe, I think, almost more than 35 years ago. And so at this moment, there was already a cooperation between France and China. And I remember, so we followed this lecture course together, so of course it was difficult, it was mathematics, but I was there already at that moment, and I didn't say it, but I was admirative of him, because I thought he has come from this very far away country, he had to learn the language, to follow the lecture in French, so this was, I also saw that he has arrived in France, so this is very different from China, he is alone, so okay, so I was very admirative, and of course what I thought about him can be also said about many other people, and okay, so we had met we had known each other at that moment, and many years later, I think 5 years ago, Ma Shaonan, who had become a French professor, contacted me, and we had a meeting, and he explained to me the project he had together with his brother, Professor Machinan, to create a joint program between French mathematics institutions in Paris and USTC in Réfé. And so he asked me whether I would be willing to support this program. Of course, I was immediately very enthusiastic, in fact very impressed by this idea. And just 1 year later, the program was created, and so I visited USTC in Réfé for the first time. And so there was a signing ceremony. I met Professor Machinan, also Mrs. Shuyue, I remember, which means that the very people who make the program possible through their incredible dedication to this program. And I was already very impressed by these people, by the French professors who were in particular Marc Rousseau, which I think we were there at the same time. But I also heard about others. I was not there, but I already heard about Bernard Keller and others who were part of this project. And also the officials of USTC University who were very quickly convinced to create and support this program. So this also was very impressive for me, that it is possible to do something so quickly. And of course it is not my only experience like that in China. Okay, so I was very impressed by these people. I also remember the representatives of the French consulate in Shanghai who were there, who were also supporting the project, in particular for the part concerning the teaching of French language. And okay, so then the program began, and as we all know, just a few months after that began the COVID crisis, which means that the program met even more difficult conditions than what was expected. And nevertheless, the program kept running, so a lot of the teaching, at some time even all of the teaching was made online, which of course means that it was even more difficult, especially for the students, than what was expected. And so it is really incredible that even with these conditions, the program kept running, and the students learn first French, and then mathematics in French, and as was said, many of the students, almost all of the students were successful, and the first students have began studying in France, and in fact there are some of them here. I am especially happy to see them. I have to say that I am very impressed by them. Je suis très impressionné par vous. And not only me, but I remember that I met some of you already last year at in fact at the Lagrange Center, and I could see that you were happy in France because, of course, you had learned the language. So this means that it makes for you much easier to integrate in French society and to interact with professors, with other students, French students or students from other countries. And so I was very happy to see that. And I had something which was told to me several times by professors on the French side, which is the fact that the professors on the French side, I mean both professors who teach the students at USTC and also professors who welcome later the students in France. So all these professors are extremely happy to teach to these students from USTC who are very hardworking, very well gifted, and of course very respectful professors. And so it is clear that the professors, for instance, who teach at USTC, the French professors, enjoy that. So, so this means that I have the feeling that the program is appreciated on both sides, on the French side and on the Chinese side. And as was already said, so the cooperation between France and China, especially in mathematics, but not only, of course, has a long story. And so this program is a part of this cooperation. And it is also it is important for mathematics. It is important for the people who become part of this program, especially the students. But it is also very important for the future relations between China and France. And so, of course, all the people who have been part of this program, especially the students, are becoming living ties between our countries. And this is, of course, very important. And after that, it can become, of course, even more fruitful. For instance, Professor Macharnan first came here as part of the cooperation program, and eventually became a professor in France, a French professor, and he has created, together with other people, in particular with Professor Macharnan, he has created this program. So you see, this means that when you do something positive, it can create new things years after that. So maybe, for example, there are students here, but maybe in a few years, you will also create things like that, or different things, I don't know, it will be up to you. But for sure, I say that to the students, you are important. And yeah, and I think it is also more important that, of course, we are in a period of great international tensions, even conflict, and so this type of relations becomes all the more important. In particular, it is a type of relation between West and East, and so the last thing I want to say is that, of course, this program consists in teaching to Chinese students, and who after that come to France to study for the last years of their university education, in particular for some of them prepare PhDs. I also think that this program or similar programs are an opportunity for the French side, for me, for instance, to learn from Chinese people. In fact, when I come to China, I talk with Chinese people. In fact, I don't feel they are very different from us. So I have to say, I feel very, it is very easy to, in some sense, to exchange. But there are some differences, and there are things which can be, so I just tell them to other French people, we French people may learn. So in particular, I said there is, you see, this whole story is extremely positive and fruitful. And as soon as something like that is proposed, in fact, I am impressed by the speed with which it is accepted, it is supported, so there is really something to be learned. That when you propose something positive, it gets support. And so I really think that, so this is the point where we can learn also the fact, of course, that Chinese people are very hardworking. So there is a lot to it. So I see that, and okay, so thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, so I introduced USTC 5 years ago at the invitation of Union, who was very important in the program of what mentioned Pascal Massa with Fontaine and Flaherty of the US. And it really great teaching, but the students, they were not understanding what we were saying, and we were doing a lot of things to help students. And so when I was in USTC, there was a big discussion about maybe a program of collaboration with the friends. And so I attended the meeting and it lasted 2 hours. And I have to say that I was a little bit skeptical that anything would come out. But 1 year later, everything was signed. So as Laurent was saying, that it is incredible how fast things are going in China. And I'm very impressed by the success of the program. I'm sure it will continue. Thank you.
So it's a pleasure to be both part of the educational committee and also being a teacher in this program, USTC. So I'm really also impressed by the level of the students who are all excellent, some of them are here. And it's also a delight to teach math in French to these young Chinese people. I'd like to insist also on the efficiency of the administrative staff from USTC, from Professor both Pedro and also Ms. Xu Gray, who made a very good work. And I'm quite excited because I'm traveling to China to USTC next week. So I'm taking the plane next Saturday, so I will discover this the campus of this university that seems to be very nice. So thank you very much.
I am the member of this committee, and let me first say that I am happy and honored that you invited me to join this committee for the China-France mathematics class. I am convinced that the agreement between the FSMP and FMJH and the University of Science and Technology of China is very important to develop relations with French and Chinese universities. My own university, Paris-Saclay, as it was said by Pascal Massard, we have the chance, the opportunity to receive many excellent Chinese students, particularly at the master level. Personally, one of my very last PhD students was a brilliant Chinese student. So it was a great pleasure to supervise his work, and it was so good that he could get immediately a permanent position at the Sorbonne University, so that we are lucky to keep him for the moment. To receive the future. So I hope that the fruitful scientific relations between France and China will continue in the future. Thank you.
Okay, so so I'm both like François said, I am both a member of the committee since the beginning and also a professor for this class. Unfortunately, I did not move to visit the USTC yet, but I hope very much to be able to do it next spring. Still, I had the opportunity to teach them to, I guess, most of the students, all the students who are here. So I'm very glad to meet them in flesh after just some Zoom meeting. I must say that when Professor Ma invited me in the beginning to be part of this committee, when he told me about this idea to create a Chinese-French class, I was kind of skeptical. I knew that he had experienced this type of experience as a student himself in the past, in the 80s, but then since the 80s, nothing similar has been made. And the prospect to teach in French to Chinese students, I thought, will they be able to learn the French in 1 year and be able to understand what we are telling them? And finally, this was the case. So I was really impressed by the facility, the rapidity in which they could learn the language and they could communicate with us. So, I mean, for me, as other people have said, I mean, the rapidity of this creation, I mean, how fast it could become an effective class was really amazing. And yes, in spite of the COVID situation, in spite of the pandemic situation, in spite of the fact that we communicate only by Zoom or WeChat, I learned about WeChat for the first time, and it's very efficient to communicate. And, so nowadays, okay, we've seen almost the whole class of 2019 and 2020 were able to
come to France to continue the study. So this is really a sign of great success, I think. Like the other professors, I mentioned that I was amazed during the first year I taught. I was amazed of the quality of the students. So the selection of the students was really extremely efficient. And now I have a second job. I'm also the head of the doctoral school at University of Paris-Saclay. So now I see some potential customers, maybe for next year or following years, to continue in doctoral studies in our university or somewhere else in France. Okay, so say welcome to the students, okay, Chinese students from this China-France class.
Thank you very much. So I am also both member of this committee and professor there, and I had the pleasure to be there this month. Many things have already been said, so I would like to stress 2 points. One is that when we are going to sign to renew this contract, this agreement, there is something which is written there, and it comes back to the origin of the program. The idea that we had at the beginning was to say, okay, it seems that the French system is successful, and it seems that in France we have those classes préparatoires which are kind of successful, so the idea, more or less, was to mimic this system. And it is written in the text that, of course, it is a 4-year program, because we are in China. Of course, the students have to learn French, so the first year they have to spend a lot of time learning French. But in the 4 years of studies, the 2 first years and a half, they should acquire the level of students in class preparatoire after just 1.75 years of studies. I must say that we are far beyond. We are far beyond. I mean, I am teaching, for example, to the second year students, so they have just learned French and some basic mathematics. What I am teaching is what I was teaching at ENS to the first year students. So you know there is a gap. And of course we benefited from the freedom that we had in choosing a program. And also we benefited of the work of Sinan when it selected the students, and really the students are of very high level. So and the second thing is that both foundations explain their aims, and also they explain that they want to collaborate to the French network in mathematics. And we see, we have 9 positions for the foundation, and we have more than 20 students. And then all those students have to irrigate the French system. And it is what happens, of course, with ENS and École Polytechnique, but also with other universities. I think it's a very good opportunity to the French relations and so on. And yeah, and the last point, again, I would like to thank very much Sinan and Philippe for the one they do, because I was there last month and it is very important. So thanks for watching.
Well, like Jean-François Le Gall, I'm also a new member of this committee. My name is Emmanuel Créa. I am the director of Laboratoire Jacques Williams at Saint-Beuve University. My lab is a quite big lab actually of applied mathematics, in which we study mathematical themes like theoretical and numerical analysis of partial differential equations, control, optimization, calculus of variation, but also scientific computing, high performance computing, and so on, with many applications. For instance, applications to biological sciences, physics, quantum chemistry, and so on. Well, actually, although I never went until now to USTC in FA, I was there in some sense in 2019, because at that time I was still the director of Fondation Sciences Mathématiques de Paris, that is now directed by Béatrice. And so I participated to this first signature. It was in January 2019, and I can remember that a bit before that, at the end of 2018, we discussed very much with Fiona of how to implement this agreement. Of course, I understand that this agreement was an important kickoff, but
Of course, it was pioneered, like Pascal said, and like also Laurent said, it was pioneered by many people before, much before. It is very important. But it was important to have this agreement 4 years ago, and I'm also very proud to see that now there are so many talented students. Some of them even selected at École Normale Supérieure at École Polytechnique in France, which is very, very impressive. Well, and so to end, I think that also I would like to stress, this will be maybe my role as a member of that committee, I would like to stress on the importance of applications of mathematics. So I would like to advertise the students to go also to be exposed to applications of mathematics, because there are many good careers to perform in many fields that are directly applied. And for instance, let me just mention one which is connected to many mathematics, actually to pure and applied mathematics, which is the complete blow-up, the complete explosion of deep learning, that we still do not know how to explain why it is so much efficient. So maybe some of you will be able to explain in the next years, but please be also concerned with such fascinating and new challenges raised by mathematics in collaboration with other disciplines. Thank you.
Thank you for the professor who shared the appreciation and the contributions to this program and from USTC part. I really appreciate it, and thank you all for your time and support for this program. Thank you. So next, we're coming to the time. Okay. So let's invite President Bao from USTC and our representations from FMJH and FSMP, and also Professor Lafonger to sign the continuous agreement that we published. I think we have to change and everybody sign 4 times maybe. 4
Today's 26th, right?
26, yes, 26. How 26? Okay, I think shall we stand up and shake hands kind of thing? Yeah, please.
We can keep this. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Take photo. Take photo, please. Okay, that's nice. Okay. Shana, you want to say something? Sunan, you want to say something? Yeah, not finish yet. Yes, I know. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Professor Lafondre. Yeah, Professor Lafondre, please. This is a certificate for the educational committee. Yeah, please.
Je parle français. Tout d'abord, je voudrais remercier M. Bochauchi, grand professeur et grand scientifique, pour l'Université de technologie, des sciences et technologies de Chine, qui m'a invité à participer et demander cette cérémonie. Ils sont pointus. Puisque je viens de Chine en France, ma fonction de responsabilité, c'est promouvoir les sciences de la coopération dans le domaine de l'éducation entre la France et la Chine. Y compris présenter le développement de l'éducation de Chine au milieu de l'éducation de la France. En même temps, on présente le développement le système d'éducation de la France. On collègue dans le secteur scientifique. Donc, c'est la foule qui est très importante pour mettre à fond faire la science de coopération entre les deux pays. Donc, aujourd'hui, ici, j'aimerais parler quelques mots. Premièrement, la France et la Chine, qui sont grands pays, qui attachent une grande importance à l'éducation, les sciences, la coopération éducative dans le monde. On va voir cette année, le gouvernement de la Chine et la France ont publié la déclaration mondiale de renforcer la coopération de la science dans tout domaine, y compris l'éducation. Par exemple, dans la construction, notre pays encourage la science et la coopération dans le domaine de la langue chinoise et française. Par exemple, en France, on va voir l'Institut Confucius d'études en France pour donner le cours de langue chinoise, présenter la culture chinoise. En même temps, on peut voir le centre de formation de l'Alliance française qui sont en Chine pour donner un cours de langue française, donc y compris dans le domaine de l'enseignement supérieur surtout. Parce que l'enseignement supérieur, c'est un domaine qui est très important, qui joue un rôle très important dans le développement scientifique et éducatif, y compris économique et social. Donc maintenant, il y a beaucoup de programmes, il y a beaucoup de promotions au niveau des départements d'enseignement supérieur qui sont signés ici pour favoriser le promouvoir les sciences nationales. Y compris dans le domaine de l'éducation professionnelle publique, qui sont des partenaires très nombreux la première. Deuxième point, on doit féliciter les sciences de coopération dans le domaine entre les pays qui sont très nombreux, très riches et qui sont fructueux. Aujourd'hui, la coopération, c'est ce qu'on dit, les parmi les nombreux de coopération avec les sciences, c'est un mondial. Deuxième point, ici, célébrer la réussite de renouvellement de l'accord entre l'université des sciences et technologies de Chine et la fondation des sciences mathématiques de Paris, la fondation sciences mathématiques Jacques Ahmad. Donc, c'est un programme, c'est une coopération excellente parce que ça favorise la coopération dans l'enseignement supérieur de côté, surtout pour le professeur, pour l'étudiant, qui sont opportunités d'apprendre les mathématiques, y compris notre futur acteurs qui vont jouer un rôle dans le domaine, dans la science et la coopération entre les côtés, y compris dans le domaine de l'éducation, dans l'économie, dans la culture, commerciale, etc. Je pense, parce que je suis responsable de service de l'éducation et de l'éclairage de la Chine, donc j'apprécie toujours les sciences de coopération dans le domaine de l'éducation, y compris professeurs, universitaires, professeurs, étudiants. Je pense que notre souhait, notre travail sont significatifs parce qu'on fait maintenant étudiants pour faire un rôle, mettre en compte pour notre pays. Donc, en bref, d'apprécier les efforts et les contributions qui sont obtenus dans ce programme, les souhaits, bon avenir pour le développement de la coopération. Donc, merci beaucoup. Merci à professeur aussi. Merci.
So basically, the next session is a free discussion. And before we take the free discussion, let's take a photo from this side. So let's get everyone in the side. And I think the